1 cent coin from the year 2003 struck at the Denver Mint, identified with the small d mint mark just below the date. At first glance it seems like nothing more than an ordinary penny, the kind of coin that slips through our hands every single day without a second thought. But in truth, certain extraordinary examples of the 2003 D Lincoln cent have shocked the collector's market by being valued as high as $167 million, a figure that transforms this tiny 1 cent piece into an object of incredible rarity, history and value. This is not just a story about money, it is about how something so small can carry such immense significance, and how the world of coins continues to surprise us in ways that seem almost unbelievable. Let us begin with the origins of this coin. The Lincoln cent has been part of American life for over a century. First introduced in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the very first American coin to feature the portrait of a real person. Designed by the sculptor Victor David Brenner, it replaced the Indian head cent and immediately became a symbol of honor to one of the nation's greatest presidents. The obverse or front of the coin bears the famous image of Abraham Lincoln, gazing thoughtfully to the right, a reminder of his leadership and sacrifice. On the reverse of the 2003 D cent we see the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959 to replace the wheat ears design. Within the memorial, if you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside. This makes the Lincoln Memorial cent unique in all of American coinage because it shows the same figure on both sides of the coin, a detail that fascinates collectors and casual observers alike. The year 2003 was not particularly rare for mintage. Billions of cents were struck that year in Philadelphia and Denver combined. The Denver Mint alone produced hundreds of millions of these coins, making the 2003 D cent a common coin in circulation. They were made from copper-plated zinc with a core of zinc and a thin coating of copper, giving them the familiar reddish shine. Since 1982 the Mint had switched from the old bronze alloy to this copper-plated zinc composition as a cost-saving measure, since rising copper prices made it too expensive to continue producing the older cents. At first this composition looked the same to the public, but in practice it introduced a new challenge for collectors. Copper-plated zinc cents are much more fragile than the old bronze cents. They tend to corrode, spot, or develop tiny blisters if not stored properly. That means finding a 2003 D cent in flawless condition is far more difficult than it might appear. This is where rarity begins to play its role. The vast majority of 2003 D cents are worth only their face value. But a small fraction survive in near-perfect mint state, blazing red in color with no marks, no spots, and no wear. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC award these coins grades on the 70-point scale, with coins